この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Princess Tutu episode 18. Last week, our episode focused around the one true prince, our king, our god, motherfucking Femio, who we all worship and stan. And yes, you are legally required to worship and stan Femio. You don't have a choice in the matter. I'm not making this up. I don't make the rules. They're just the rules. We all follow them. Femio's the king. We all know it. Great. He's a lot. He's a lot, and we got a lot of vibes of like a Nanami feeling goofy episode, except that once we actually sort of re-examined the entire bonkers crazy episode and peeled back the layers of Femio's overbearing desire for everyone to see him as he sees himself and for to be loved by everyone and to give all his love to the world, we discovered that there's actually like a lot of interesting subtext around Femio and his way of going about things, and he has the pretty awesome title of being one of the only characters in the show so far who has, through sheer force of, I don't know, being an idiot with a ridiculous goal, is completely able to break free of the bonds of Kreru, who tries to capture him and feed his heart, soul, whatever, to her daddy. P.S. Kreru is now what I'm calling Ru/Krera always now, because it's so much easier than trying to or just figuring out when she's Ru. Kreru works perfectly, and we're using that from now on. Fight me. It was an interesting episode. It was a very strange episode that definitely diverged a bit from the norm. There are a bunch of other subtextual little things going on as well. Lots of little stuff with Ahiru, but the stuff that was most interesting to me was the continued interactions between Kreru and Daddy Raven, which are getting more and more fucked up in, oh boy, just a really, really awful way. And Muto. Muto is really leaning into that evil, tainted side of his love and becoming really kind of fucked up. He said some things to Ru over the course of this episode that were pretty shitty. One, sending her off to go do the thing, and then two, the one line where he's like, oh, kawaii so. And wow, we are getting in deeper and deeper into you fixed your boyfriend, but you really didn't, and now he's worse. Oh boy. Okay. We're just sort of skimming over the very surface of what we experienced last week because I want to get into this week's episode. Because we saw a little flishity flash of a frame at the very end during the preview thing that looked like swords and knight stuff. So, Fakir? Great. Fucking excellent. Fakir has been taking a bit of a secondary role for a good little while now. He's been hanging out in the library, reading his book, figuring stuff out, hopefully about the Prinzun Rabe and other things going on in the world. Being occasionally taunted by Kreru as she hops in to tell him fucked up shit and attempt to screw up his relationship with Ahiru, because that's what Kreru do. And, you know, he's just real worried about the whole future destiny of his to get torn in half by his enemies and fail mostly, just to fail mostly, because he's too good a boy to exist. So he's worrying about that. There's going to be some nighty stuff. I hope that we investigate Fakir's current position and where he stands on all of this stuff. And if we do it in a way that integrates like a normal try to steal the soul of some character in the place and maybe Fakir's involved in it somehow, then I am down. I'm down for any of that. Or maybe what we saw in the preview was just like one excerpt of a tiny dream sequence and it's actually not going to matter. I don't know, but what I do know is that we'll probably find out a pretty good, though we won't understand it completely, a pretty good symbolic overview of whatever this episode is going to be in the next, like, 30 seconds when we get the intro thing. So I should stop talking, and we should watch the episode, and then we'll probably have a better idea of what we're actually trying to talk about. Yes? This makes sense? I think this makes sense. Let's watch the thing before we talk about the thing. Cool? Cool. Last week, Femio. This week, I'm hoping for Fakir. Totally different kind of dude. Totally different kind of prince. Totally different kind of somewhat fucked up worldview. Given that his whole deal is like duty and fate and justice. Well, actually, he's never really been about justice. It's more like his duty to his prince is his, like, defining characteristic. And it's made him do fucked up things before and you know, treat Muto pretty terribly in our introductory 10 episodes of Fakir existing. We'll have to see how this plays out. I feel like maybe we could have like a Dark Night of the Soul moment for Fakir, as he's been unable to successfully help Muto in basically any way for the last couple of episodes, and has been, you know, his reputation has been solidly ruined, except for, like, Lilie, who's like, ooh, he's such a beast, but everybody else is like, that guy is fucked up and we should stay away from him. A lot of stuff is not coming up Fakir recently, and I'd like to see how that would affect him as a character. Again, we're going to find out what this episode is probably actually about in the next 30 seconds, and there's like a 40% chance that it's not about Fakir at all. So, let's watch the thing. Okay. There will be two versions of this reaction video. You can find the picture-in-picture version up with the video up there, linked in the description down there. Timer-based version will be up on YouTube. You want to do a synchy thing, you can do a synchy thing. Get your copy ready, because the synchy timer's coming at you. Let's go. That's a sword. I think that... Oh, there's one illuminated window up there. Never faltered in his hashtag duty. Taking the light. Okay, so this isn't Fakir, but is a related story to Fakir in the same way we've had that kind of thing. That was what he took pride in. Okay, so he's restricted to the need for a duty. Needs duty to have purpose. Shattered mirror, so a shattered sense of self. The Book of Swords. Okay. Oh, the shattered mirror is perfect. We are going to deep dive Fakir. Shattered mirror is like the classic shattered sense of self situation. He's struggling because, he can't fulfill his duty. We said it earlier. He's entirely a duty-bound character. She just said that this character needs duty to have any kind of purpose, right? And still seeks out a duty. Could we equate duty with role? Ooh. Duty equals role equals dross. Does Fakir really have any functional identity outside of his duty? I am the knight, I save the prince. No, not really. Not except, now that Ahiru's in the picture, maybe. Okay. Yeah, let's deep dive Fakir. Let's have him shatter. That would be great. That would be perfect. He's a hyper-restricted character, kept in, like, one path by his role, which he willingly accepts now. Yeah. Labyrinths. Oh, that's foggy. Fakir? It's not really Fakir's mask. That's Fakir. Okay. There are two knights, and they are jousting with swords. Cool. Is this a dream? And he stabs the image of his ideal self. Dream. The Ghost Knight. Oh. Oh, jeez. Did she just ask if you're Fakir-sama's girl? I don't know if I want that, Lily. Oh, gosh. Bye, friends. I see. This is true. Dance. They need her for something? They need Muto for something. How about Fakir? You want a Fakir? You can have a Fakir. You can't have a Muto. Yeah, but you're all afraid of him because he's too cool. No, 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 no. Yeah, don't expose him to innocent people. Ew. Shit. Well, there we go. That must be really difficult to have a conversation that way. Jesus. Does it have two swords crossed on the cover? Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a knight. It was the mask of the knight that was in his dream. Oh no. Hey, bud, that's not ominous. Framing. Oh, well, there's our duty. Fuck. Fuck. Role equals duty. There it is, equated. Everything, always. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Easier for you to come. That guy walking by again. Nope. Is that glasses? Nope. Hi, Naka. Sometimes. Alright. I'm gonna keep it together. Hey, he kept it together. He kept it together. Did you? He just kept it together. Ooh. This is the same angle we had on him before. Willkommen. So close to quacking. What, it's unfinished? Like the other books? Maybe that's the point of the play they're doing. Because you have to decide your own story. Okay. Okay. Jesus. Ooh. Lacking duty. Okay. Unfulfilled. That makes sense. That is the end, dude. That's the end. Fuck off. Kreru. It's a little on the nose. It's a little on the nose, yeah. We get it. We understand. Fucking bitch. Oh, hi. Wow. Oh, Jesus. What just zipped by? 10:00 window. And you have to become that role. Oh, this soundtrack is so perfect. Because it's your story, dingus. You are currently the ghost knight wandering around without a duty to fulfill because your prince is weird. He's unhinged. He's untethered, man. He's lost his anchor, his purpose. Sure. So does he. Never forget your role, otherwise you will be forgotten and left behind by the story because you'll be irrelevant. You won't have a role to play, and therefore you won't exist. Fuck! Oh, hey, daddy-o. No, bring me souls. Well, shit. Oh, fuck. You failed. Wow. 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 P.S. My love is conditional. Wow. Fuck off, daddy-o. Oh, God. What, rehearsal? Practice? Seeking death. Oh, dude, you are just in a confuse. You are just in all sorts of confuse. Theory. We're gonna run into a little blue-green character. Or Ghost Knight. Let's go. The mist rolls in. The dream becomes real. Wow, he kills himself in the play? Wow. Okay. Mm. Oh. Later. Wow. No. Stop it. I mean, little hard turn. Wow. What the fuck? Well, there's the mirror. Because bad shit is about to happen. I heard neighing. I don't think it did. It does now, though. Oh, hi, Ghost Knight. No. Gosh, this is so Headless Horseman. Fakir? Wait. That's last season, though. Hey, bud. But that's last season. Whoa, that is not the lesson to take away right now. Well, Fakir's death wish engaged. No, he's just seeking purpose. Duty. Honor, right? The chastised knight cast away. Hey, that's actually a nice outfit. It's very David Bowie-ish. Okay, here we are in the dream. Like, he's symbolically fighting himself, right? Alright. Tutu time. Who will she address? Dance with me, Ghost Knight, or dance with me, Fakir? Oh, shit. Wow, he does not care. Everything just disappeared. What the fuck? That is not dancing, but we can turn it into one. We are turning it into one. Ah, shit. Whoa. That makes sense. I don't know if pride is the best thing to give the now unhinged and evil Muto, but okay. He was. Oh, shit. Throws down his sword. Whoa. Duty falls away. Compassion and care for others is the real core. Oh. Oh, you nap it up. Okay. Wait, what? I can't tell if Dross is lying. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck, 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 shit, 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 fuck, god damn it, shit, fuck. What? Who stole that? There's a humanoid. Jesus. Great. That is literally nothing to write into. It looks like it's maybe a comedy scene where maybe he's seeing Ahiru naked. Excellent. That means nothing. Okay. Fakir wears black gloves. Yes? Fakir wears black gloves. Great. Great. Those are blue, right? It's really hard to tell. They could be black with weird lighting on them, or it could have been weird lighting before. It doesn't look like Fakir's shape. It looks hunched, right? It's half as tall as the doorway. And in big cloaks and shit. So it's almost certainly the same strange figure that we saw in the window that one time in the previous episode, right? That's been following Fakir around. So it's something different. There's a third party working in here, I think, unless it's somebody that we know and it's just being masked from us. But it seems like it's a build-up for a third party, someone separate. Okay, and then there was something at like 10 minutes. I thought I saw a flash of something in this window, but I'm not sure. It could have just been the snake character moving by or something. Yeah, I think it was just the snake dropping, and I just saw it out of my peripheral instead of really seeing it. Let me just watch through this scene really fast. It was just that. Okay, cool. So we don't see it otherwise. And then there's Drosselmeyer's thing that he says at the end here. And for the first time, he appears to us as though he's, like, forlorn, right? And he just, like, pauses for a second, almost in shock. But then he turns this way, and it feels totally false to me. It feels like he's doing that little kid thing where he's like, oh, please help me, right? And then it feels completely false. But then he says, if only Adel were here at times like this. And I almost believe him. All right, let me take a minute to let this percolate. Man, it's been a while since we've seen Fakir smile at all. This is a hard, cold smile as he learns that there's still a shard of Muto within that night and realizes in this moment that he still has a duty that he could continue to try to accomplish. Whoa, okay. So I've got my first page of, like, during thing notes, and then I've got this page of just, like, shit that I've written down that's all just ideas and stuff. So where do we start with this episode? I think we start sort of playing off of our previous discussion in the previous episode around definitions, because one of the clear things that we have to do about this episode is define the word duty, because duty is a big word, and yes, I mean duty, not duty. Duty is a big word that means a lot in this episode and means a whole lot in Princess Tutu, but has a very clear definition within the context of the story of Princess Tutu. Duty in the story of Princess Tutu is defined as your role, whether that's given to you by a storybook or by Drosselmeyer or by circumstance or by Raven Daddy-O, it's your role. And there's like a moral equivalency between fulfilling your role and doing the right thing that I think is most clearly highlighted actually in our sequence with Rue. So let's go find the sequence with Rue, which I don't know where the fuck it went. It's somewhere. It's somewhere in here, I'm sure. I can find it somehow. Bingo. Okay, so it's right after the break. Got it. Trying to line things up in my brain space as seeing how things happen. Alright, so she tries to bring some water for Daddy-O. Where is the heart? Give me a heart to eat. I'm sorry, Father. I tried to capture a sacrifice in the prince's place, but... You did? What a useless thing to do. You listen to me and you listen good. Your role is not to be loved by anyone but me and the prince in the story. There is no way that you will ever be loved so much that someone would give their own life for you, a line that we heard in the last episode as well. Remember that well. That is not your assigned role, and if you step outside of your assigned role once more, you will lose even my love. So Rue steps outside of her defined role in an attempt to appease her father, which we could say that from her moral perspective is a very good, necessary action. Makes perfect sense. She is then punished for this, emotionally if not physically, though there's seriously the threat of violence and the threat of losing her father's love, because it's conditional on her staying in her fucking lane. She is not punished for the intent of her actions. She is not punished for the merit of her actions. She's not even punished for her failure to succeed in her actions. She's punished simply and solely for the audacity to step out of line. to step out of her own lane, to step outside of her defined role. It doesn't matter if it had worked. It was never supposed to work. She wasn't ever supposed to have this idea. You're not allowed to step out of your lane in the world of Princess Tutu. And so duty is therefore defined as the role which you embody. For Rue, it's pretty obvious that her duty is probably the most fucked up of all of the duty systems in this universe. Hers is real fucked up. Her duty is to manipulate people and fuck with people and not actually accomplish anything herself, and to never be loved, and to love always but never be loved herself, and to desperately crave the affection of Muto and or others, and blah, blah. But for other characters in the story, duty and role are something good and powerful and welcome, a source of purpose and even a source of identity. I think we could probably count more than a few times where we have just referred to Fakir as the knight. He's a good knighty boy in the first, 8 episodes, right? When we were still sort of wishy-washy on whether Fakir was a good guy, but we were pretty sure that he was a good guy acting out of some form of role or duty that was all-encompassing and, more important than being necessarily a nice guy to Muto. We got that vibe from him all over the place. So we referred to him as the knight, and that was his role and his duty and his identity. And it was an identity that he seemed to welcome and gain a lot from. This duty, this initial role is initially good and welcome, both for him and for Ahiru. Ahiru willingly and gladly takes on the role of Princess Tutu so that she can do something, so that she can help people, so that she can protect the prince, so that she can return the heart shards to him. And that comes around at the end of this episode when she says something like, "There is still something that I can do." The shards of Muto's heart that I gave him back are making him suffer, but this is the one thing that I can do right now. Right? This is not Ahiru blindly accepting her duty as Princess Tutu. This is Ahiru actively engaging with and, choosing to do this anyway, despite knowing that it's maybe more complicated than her previous ideas about, I just have to give his heart shards back because I just have to give his heart shards back. It's what I'm supposed to do. And so she's going back through her mind and weighing the reasoning behind it. In contrast to exactly what we said before, Rue was punished not for her intent nor for the merit of her actions. Ahiru is deciding which actions to take based on the merit of those actions, not whether they are actually, in line with her assigned duty, right? She's addressing these situations as though they're more complex, which they are. Here's the thing about duty and role and the simplicity of having a single-minded task to accomplish, a task which is innately and intrinsically moral under the umbrella of this world's morality, right? It is moral to fulfill one's duty, whatever that duty is, right? That's pride, honor, justice, great. But is it? Is it really? You can gain a sense of identity from, I am a knight, I protect the prince, this is my duty, this is good. But what happens if the prince that you're protecting is kind of evil? What happens if you're unable to protect that prince? What happens if everything is a little bit more complex than a simple, I do this thing is right because I was told that this is the right thing to do? There's a comfort in being just a soldier, in just being able to follow orders, and to some degree, being part of a complex machine and not having to think about the morality of your initial actions, but instead passing that up the chain of command to someone higher up than you can be very comforting and very, very calming. And it sort of relieves you of I don't want to use the word duty, but it relieves you of the need to actually, seriously engage with the choices that you're making, because you don't have to make any choices. You just filter everything through the paradigm of your duty, and you just go, well, I'll do it because it's part of my duty, or I won't because it's not. That's real simple. But when you face real complexities around real people, that duty can shatter. And more importantly, worse than that, like, it can destroy your sense of identity around that thing. And that is what Fakir is dealing with right now. That is why this episode, when Fakir is outside, is shrouded in fog, right? Because he's lost. He's lost in a haze. He doesn't know what direction to go in. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's kind of just wandering around, fumbling, trying to seek out some element of what he had before. Because what he had before was a granted certainty given by the world around him, by his own role, by his own identity, by the fact of his own creation. He was built for a purpose, and he had that purpose. And now that purpose has slipped through his fingers, and so he wanders lost and finds a specter of himself, a self that could have been, a self that could still be, this ghost knight. And this ghost knight story is exemplary, right? This ghost knight killed his own lover as duty to his crown, to his kingdom. But then shortly after, his kingdom and her kingdom made peace, and he was the one cast out. And as he was cast out with no understanding of why. We don't get a real explanation of why this knight was ostracized, right? He's just left to wander, purposeless, and he becomes like a classic ghost, right? A classic ghost who wanders around seeking out their unfinished business, that duty that he never could fulfill. Now, this knight also killed his own lover, who he clearly cared about, right? Why did he do this act that was, if investigated, if actually looked at through a lens that can accommodate complexity, which was not a just or good action and was something that he could have probably fought against, but he did it anyway because it was duty, and he shattered his own identity in the process. Ugh. Oof. Hard rules don't accommodate the complexities of people, or the complexities of emotion, or the complexities of human interactions, or the complexities of friendships and relationships. They don't and can't. Hardline duties don't work with that. They can't work with that. So when Fakir is offered the option to play a role, not even real, but to play a role of knight, he now struggles with that role because he's struggling with all of the complexities around it. He struggles to even, in a fiction, play the role of the ghost knight. It speaks too much to him because he's realizing that that role is fraught, that it's more complex than he could have ever imagined before when he was just focused on duty. That role is fraught. That role is no longer clear-cut. So he no longer can gain that strength from a role to play, and indeed finds it almost off-putting, right? He gained strength from a role to play once, but now he finds himself useless, and Muto is all too happy to step in and say, yes, you are useless. Your role was to die, and you couldn't even do that, you useless fucking knight. You piece of shit. You failed, and you'll always fail, no matter what. Because you will never, never achieve your duty. Because Muto is a twisted fuckboy who's being a twisted fuckboy. We all get that. We got it. We got it. That's fine. Shit. What an interesting episode. Never faltered in his duty, no matter what it was. There's one illuminated window up there. I wonder if that's meant to be Muto's window or Ahiru's window. I think it's meant to be Ahiru's window, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know why the candles are there either, but the sword makes sense. Did not even falter in taking the life of his lover. And this is said almost in a reverent way, like that's a good thing, right? He kept to his role. Good job, buddy. You're a true loyalist. You are willing to kill even the one you loved most in the world for your duty. That's honor. That's pride. But it isn't, is it? If it was, then the Heart Shard of Muto would have no sway over this Ghost Knight, right? Because he would have fulfilled that pride. Anytime a character manages to fulfill whatever the Muto Heart Shard embodies, right? They don't need it. They don't need it to fill the hole in them. No, this knight is now desperately seeking something that will fulfill his pride because he's realized that duty can't do it. Because this doesn't work. That was what he took pride in. But the knight could not do anything but carry out his duty. He was limited, restrained. And even after his death, he still seeks a duty to carry out. Having carried it out, having been pushed away, he just desperately seeks something else to cling on to, some other cause to make his own. But he can't. He's dead and gone, only a ghost. They say the knight who became a ghost and now haunts this world holds in his hand the blood-stained sword that pierced his lover's breast. Now, obviously, there's a strong correlation here between the duty and the taking the life of his lover and Fakir's shattering or willingness to shatter the sword of the prince and the heart of the prince, right? Yeah, he's willing to stab the heart of the prince again because that's his duty, right? Cool. Not cool. Very not cool. Less than cool. Holds in his hand the blood-stained sword. Woof. Something I can do. What I'm meant for. Some form of identity. But is it a strong form of identity? I am knight. I do knight things. Not really. Not when you have all these other interactions. Fakir's not just a knight. He's a student, and he's a student with now a pretty bad reputation, and he's a friend. And he's a friend to Muto, and he's a friend to Ahiru. He's, almost in a weird way, a little bit of a father figure to Yuzura. He's a son to... Fuck, I forgot his dad's name. He's all sorts of other things, too. He's a student. He's a reader. He's scared, maybe. He's all kinds of things that don't fit in that clear-cut role of the gung-ho honorable knight. Which identity is stronger? I'm a knight who does knight things. Or the more difficult to grapple with, complicated identity of a real human being. Obviously, the latter is stronger, right? But it's a lot less comfortable. Because if you are just a human being and you have all these different elements, these different aspects to you, then you have to actually decide what actions you take and why you take them. You can't just play your role. And that's fucking scary, man. That's fucking scary. Ooh. So the Egmont Overture is a piece by Ludwig von Beethoven. Pieces for the 1787 play of the same name by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. It's Goethe, right? I think it's Goethe. How do you say his name? I think it's Goethe. I'm just going to say that. I hope it's right. Egmont is a play by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Heavily influenced by Shakespearean tragedy, the portrait in Egmont of the downfall of a man who trusts in the goodness of those around him appears to mark a shift away from Sturm und Drang values. Okay. The fight of Count Egmont in the 80 Years' War against the despotic Duke of Alba. All right. Spanish invader, threat of arrest, ideal of liberty, abandoned because of the cowardice of his people. And despite the desperate efforts of his mistress, Klarchen, he is sentenced to death. Thus, faced with her failure and despair, Klarchen puts an end to her own life. The play ends on the hero's last call to fight for independence. His death as a martyr appears as a victory against oppression. It is a political manifesto in which Egmont's craving for justice and national liberty is opposed to the despotic authority of the Duke of Alba. It is also a drama of destiny in which the Flemish nobleman with fatalism accepts the dire consequences of his straightforwardness and honesty. Okay, there are definitely some things here that line up, but not in, like, the most most best way, you know? Yeah. Okay. So you're completely a Fakir-sama girl now, too. What? No, I'm telling you, Fakir and I aren't like that. But hey, if you're that serious about it, I have to support you, don't I? Holy shit, it's like that's her role as the side friend character. First comes the love confession. Okay, let's not. And then we have these characters who are attempting to outwardly express their internal identities, their own inner worlds in concrete form. Oh, that's exactly what the Ghost Knight is for Fakir. He is the Ghost Knight, right? He is the dutiful knight who did a thing that seemed right under his duty and now is a lot more complicated than that. So he's externalizing his own identity because he doesn't have the ability to express it this way. It's only once he gets in costume and does the dance that these characters, these drama students, express that, oh, he's kind of scary. It's like he's really the Ghost Knight. Because he is really the Ghost Knight. They've unwittingly given him the opportunity to express his internal world on stage, when before it was happening only in dreams. And then somehow it ends up being a part of real reality, whether caused by the existence of this play and this book in this place where books come to life, or by Fakir's own inner turmoil. Ooh. Fucking Muto. Yeah, let's not do that. We offer Fakir, everybody's like, well, maybe not. And they give a copy of the script, but it's an incomplete copy. How strange. Muto does this whole sequence, which is just so fucked. It's all for the cameras, you know? Like, he grabs him, and then we do this, like, twisting angle as the Muto is actively twisting shit for everybody else. All these low-angle shots. Jesus. Why did you come back? I protect Muto, that's all. How? You're a failure. Your role, you failed. You couldn't even die. You're no longer needed because you stepped outside of your role. Now you'll just be irrelevant and forgotten. And then he steps away and is like, I'm so happy that you're here. Fucking ass clown. I want to let this particular line percolate. I'm actually going to write it out so that I remember it better. If you join... Because I think... I could work this really innocent statement from Ahiru into this whole discussion of duty that I'm trying to create. Because I think there's a way of reading this statement that says something along the lines of, like, forming these more complicated relationships and doing more things that are outside of your, like, assigned duty will make it easier. Just the easier for you to come to school part is what seems interesting here. Easier for you to come to school when school is like life to these characters. Maybe you'll find a different kind of a sense of purpose by going through and having, like, real interactions and clubs and activities and stuff. There's something there. I want you to stick to Muto, as close to Muto as you can. Then he says, I don't need you to tell me to do that. He's already internalized that duty, right? She just goes, okay, have the script, bye-bye. Bad blood has a way of eventually going away. I want to take a moment to just talk about this little moment here. Yes, sometimes bad blood has a way of eventually going away. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you kill your lover as a ghost knight, get ostracized by your people, and get sent out to wander the world in turmoil forever. Sometimes the bad blood is the result of your friendo bro friend being poisoned by raven blood, and you can't really do anything about that, and it's not just going to go away on its own. I understand what Neko Sensei is trying to say here, where he's kind of being like, hey man, don't worry about it. Things will work out. I'm sure you guys can still be friends, but it seems kind of irresponsible to tell a kid, like, don't take any action. Things will work themselves out. The world's a nice place, man. Don't worry about it. You don't have to try to create bridges or fix problems. Yeah. Boys and girls working toward one goal. Then he gets into marriage. And he actually restrains himself in this episode, which is really weird. Which I think is, like, seems to me to play off of the thing that we had last episode, where I was like, holy shit, is Neko Sensei like a real human being? Is he like a real person and not just a marriage monster? Oh shit, there might be depth to this character. And here, in this moment of Fakir's need, he fumbles a lot, right? But gosh, he really tries to do the good guidance counselor thing. He put in an A for effort, maybe a C for actual things that he says, but man, an A for effort. It is important to be involved in something in a positive manner. Do you think it's possible to turn a love made impure back to normal? What is an impure love? What does that mean? Who can say that Odil's love is impure? And at this point, I have to go read Black Swan, or Swan Lake again, because just to make sure about some stuff. Swan Lake. Odile is the daughter of the evil Rothbart. From the synopsis, there's no real indication whether Odile's love is real or not, or if she's just carrying out a duty toward her father to do this thing and disguise herself as Odette and to trick Boyo, to trick Siegfried. So the question that Neko Sensei is asking here is really complicated, actually. Who can say that Odile's love is impure? Well, first off, does it exist? Second off, I guess you could say that her love is maybe more love for her father, and maybe it is entirely pure. Oh, man. And then the layer of this is, of course, that Kreru is our Odile analog character with the black feathers and all that jazz. And her love is twisted, but not necessarily impure. She's just dealing with her own stupid-ass role. Fuck, man. Neko-sensei, why you gotta ask the big questions? I don't know. What do you mean? And he just pieces out. Fuck, thanks, Neko-sensei. I really appreciate it. And then the rest of the script, it ends there. Oh, yeah. And foisting rules upon other people. Oh, but everyone said the part was perfect for you and all. Right, so the Ghost Knight is perfect for me, huh? The Ghost Knight? Yeah. Held is the strongest of all knights. Believed his duty was to risk his life to protect his king. That's pretty one-to-one Fakir. He even killed his own lover who was a spy for an enemy kingdom without faltering. Again, this is in, like, a positive context, right? Like, good job, buddy, you did it. You killed your lover, you're a true believer. Jesus. Ooh, that is the identical angle of the sword that we have at the end from Fakir's sword. Yeah, it's identical. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's redemption right there. That, right there, that moment, that's redemption. He casts aside his sword to pick up the injured Ahiru. Something outside of himself. A complex relationship. One of those relationships that has made it clear that his duty situation maybe isn't the way to go about things. He comes around right there in that moment. Which makes me deeply think that the individual who goes and takes this book is him. Now, I'm not positive. It might not be, but I think it is. And here's why. He was previously unable to reach out and grab the actual text with the actual ending, right? He was interested in the book itself, but he's desperate to know how it ends because his own end is bad. But now, he's willing to go in and get it. It's more complicated. He's willing to find out what the end is. Ooh. Ooh. So, if we overlay the ideas present in this scene with the ideas present in this scene, same angle, same general position, but instead of like, woe is me, mind inward, eyes to the sky, why, right, is the vibe that I get from this, right? He's thinking about himself. He's freaking out in his own brain about this whole lack of duty thing. Fakir escapes this by reaching out to Ahiru, by being compassionate and hoping that she'll be okay. His love for another is what allows him to break free. Yeah. Stuff outside of yourself. Yeah. Purpose outside of yourself. Outside of pride. Pride doesn't work. Not without understanding. This knight who was so strongly, like, integrated with duty, when it's taken away from him, he knows not whom to protect or whom to defeat. He becomes a Ronin and wanders. The script ends here. Left open-ended. It's time for you to write the rest of the script, because that's right where you are right now. Having lost your duty, wandering the world, uncertain. Desperately clinging, seeking something to cling on to. That's really fucking good. Also, the pink elephant is just kind of whack. Just whack to have in the background of these serious scenes. Yeah, a knight who's unable to do anything. What a perfect scene for you, Fakir. Fuck you, Rue. No record of when it was written or by whom. He reaches out to try and grab it and only sees flashes of horror. And he cannot. It was inside this bag. I don't think I've seen that bag before. If I have seen that bag, then whoops. So he takes back the uncertain ending, the portion of it that's there as the script. But I wonder what I can do for Muto. Indeed, indeed. And then, yeah, is searching for his heart shards really all I can do? That's right, you mustn't forget that, your role. So that you're not abandoned by the story, like Fakir. So that you're not forgotten, like Fakir. Remember your role. Stick to your role. I'm watching. And then his statements at the end, oh boy, I'm in a pickle, there's something sinister going on, and all these kids are fucking useless. It's almost a response to Fakir breaking out of his role and finding a reason to be besides that. Yes. Okay, then we get all the Rue shit, which sucks. It just sucks. It's worse than ever. Again, the direct equivalency. I'll do things right this time. What is doing things right? Following your fucking orders. Do the role, do your duty. Whoa. Why would I dream about this? The knight who's lost sight of his place to die, seeking something from me. Well, you're the knight who's lost sight of his place to die. Even in your previous understanding of your duty and role, as afraid as you were of dying, that's nothing compared to the existential horror of not having a defined role to play and not having a defined end to your story, right? And in the same way, Fakir is desperately seeking an end to the Ghost Knight story, right? Because his own story has an ending, and now he failed to achieve that ending, and he's just lost. So if he can put the Ghost Knight's affairs in order, maybe he can put himself in order, right? Does he want me to give him a place to die? Does it mean he'll prepare a place for me to die? No clue. It's as if he really were the Ghost Knight, and indeed he is. I just remembered something I have to do. Bye! Oh god, I hate this. I hate this shit so much. What if you got the famous Ghost Knight on your side? That's a good idea. After all, you can't do anything, Kreru. Fuck! Then we have the shattered mirror. The mirror that is shattered in the opening. Don't get angry. It's the truth, isn't it? I would like to once again shout out Muto's voice actor because he goes from like normal to this. Don't get mad. Don't get mad, you poor thing. It's just the truth, isn't it? You're useless. Don't worry. That's just how you are. Fuck you. Fuck you. She could kick your ass, you little bitch. Okay, Forest manifests. Ghost Knight manifests. We've sensed the Heart Shard. And it's Fakir. Just now, the Ghost Knight, you saw him. Yes, and he might have a shard of Muto's heart. And then immediately Fakir smiles. A cold, hard smile. I see. So I still had a duty that I could carry out as a knight. Yes! My identity is intact. Woo! Well, about that. And then we have this moment. Honing in on the sword. You don't mean to fight with that knight, do you? Yes, he's seeking the enemy he should fight. As are you. Even if we end up dying on each other's swords, just leave me be. Wait, no. Please, no. I will say that Muto's new digs, Muto's new clothes and shit, with the, like, smaller princeliness stuff, I guess maybe it's the same clothing, he just doesn't have the, like, flared-out giant wings and such. It's very David Bowie to me. I don't know, I kind of dig it now. It's pretty cool. If you are a true knight, do the job. You're the one who showed me the end of the story. Just as you wish, I'll plunge this sword through your heart. But that is not the necessary outcome. There is another option, and it is Ahiru's place, Ahiru's choice, to demonstrate that other option, to run in between the two of them, to stop them in the last moment. And in this moment, as they swing at each other, it is Fakir's choice to not only stop swinging, but to pull her out of the way. His duty, his identity, not assigned to him by anyone, his choice is to protect Ahiru, because they have a real, genuine relationship and genuinely care about each other. Not because it's some role that was given to him as a knight, but because she's his friend and he wants to protect her. The knight swings willy-nilly. And Fakir is lost. No matter how many times you swing your sword, your heart won't be satisfied. But because that's not your real heart. It's something external that was put inside of you. What do you want so badly that you took your lover's life? Pride, honor, justice, duty, identity. Is that really more precious than a lover's life? Compassion. An embrace. One that forces him, this knight, to go and examine his own decisions, his own doing. I don't want you to fight anymore. I'm not saying that out of a duty to my kingdom, but because I love you. I don't want you to bear any more sorrow. And in response, he kills the one person who was good to him. And in response to that revelation, he drops his blade and kneels and is freed. The feeling of pride. And again, we already addressed this. This is the one thing I can do right now. But she's actively engaging with the reasoning for doing that, not just following it because of the duty of doing it. She's thinking about the reasons that she wants. And then she comes to the conclusion, it makes sense that this is the best thing for pieces of Muto's heart to go back inside of Muto. Regardless of the poison that's currently in him, this is a good idea. And it seems to pay off. He feels, well, his eyes change from pink to brown, so bada bing, bada boom, right? But it's this moment. Fakir drops his blade. sticks in the sword, in the ground. He embraces Ahiru. Can't my sword even protect her? Now he's still in turmoil. Still with the sword looming over him. But gosh golly, it's a lot more real and like what he wants and what he needs to do than it is something that has been put upon him or some role that he has been assigned. Whoa. This is a rough episode, not in terms of like production or anything. It's just rough to examine fully. Because it's like, hey, here's a character who has all these beliefs about himself that he centers his identity around. We're just going to take all those away. Ha 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 ha. How's he doing now? He's not doing well. He's not doing well at all. But it ends on a pretty positive note. One about people and relationships and stuff. Real connections. And I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Okay. I think I'm going to take a quick moment and look at staff and stuff for the episode. There were a number of like striking shots and things, like the ones around Muto and Fakir, and Muto being a dickhead are pretty striking. These shots here, the like multi-overlaid stuff, and actually just the moment where Muto is like standing amongst his people, like, waha, I've been waiting for you. Standing in a position, right? I forget which position that is. With the feet pointed in the opposite directions. It's third position. Or fourth position opposite fifth. Or fifth position? I'm looking at a diagram of the 1 through 5th positions, and I genuinely don't know the difference between... Oh, it's in the way that the angles are. So he's in third. Because his feet would be like more crossed if he was in 5th, and they'd be further apart that like vertically on the y-axis or whatever if it were 4th position opposite 5th. Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care about ballet. Screw it. Cool. I'm gonna look up staff and stuff. Should be quick and stuff. 2218. Oh wait, no. ANN Princess Tutu. It's Shogo Kawamoto. And it's directed by Yukio Nishimoto, who has directed episode 12. And the storyboard is some JoJo's, some Psychopaths, some Strike Witches, a whole bunch of things that aren't great, and a few things that are pretty cool. Okay, cool. And we've looked up Shogo Kawamoto multiple times, so I don't feel like we have the need to go and do that. Again, this episode wasn't super crazy fascinating in terms of visuals or anything, but in terms of storytelling... Fuck, you're fighting an emblematic version of himself inside a deep and mysterious fog that encompasses the school, while we have, like, no blue skies at all. It's all gray. Everything is shades of gray. Everything is, like, fuzzy and foggy and misty and incorporeal and strange. And that's pretty fucking spot on. That's pretty perfect. I think that's a good. I think that's a solid good. Okay. That's gonna be a wrap. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Princess Tutu, episode 18. I hope you've enjoyed it as much or more than I have. If you have any points about Fakir and his struggles with duty that you want to express, throw them in the comments. I'll probably read them because I read all the comments. Other than that, if you want next week's reaction to Princess Tutu, it'll be up on Patreon sometime the same day that this goes up on YouTube, so check that out if you want to. Links in the description. And I'll see you next week for more. Peace.